If everybody feels fear when approaching something totally new in life, yet so many of us are out there doing it despite the fear, then we must conclude that the fear is not the problem. Hey guys, and welcome back to a new episode of the Crystalline Podcast. I'm your host, Summer Clark, and this episode is about life, how it's all about learning and not failure. I don't personally believe in failure. I can't even say it because I don't believe in it. I I don't believe in the idea of it and getting caught up in like the outcome of things when you wanted something so desperately. It's not like what you think it is at all. I've seen, and I've been affected by this, but I've seen how it can destroy people with the mindset of, um, well, it's failing, like having that mindset of like disheartened, like it's just, do you get me? No, do you understand? Where it's just like, but the thing is, like, you have to understand that it's actually not the end of the world. It really isn't. There are so many different possibilities and meanings to it. Failure is failure is not something to be ashamed of. Really, I don't believe that it actually exists. Like, I really don't believe failure exists. I think it's just a word that we've seemed to have invented, in a negative way. Like, we've invented it and it's kind of destroyed us. Like, you're not gonna commit. I can't even say the word. um, we're not gonna. It's like we can't be too hard on ourselves. Like, we can't take it and accept it as there's something wrong with us. There's that we have no value in who we are. We can't accept it as that. What we must accept it as is just a way of not doing something. Like Edison said, he, I'm not sure of the actual number, but like he said, I'm just going to say 1,000. When he didn't fail at making the light bulb, he just found 1,000 ways not to do it. And that's how we've got to look at failure. Like, it's just a way of not to do it. It's a learning curve. We shouldn't be too hard on ourselves because sometimes it just might not be right for you at that time. Okay, we need to take a step back and look and, figure out just another way of doing it. It's like, it's okay, this way hasn't worked. But what you got to do is go get back up. You gotta get back up. You gotta do it. So we can't take failure personally because actually it might be that in this moment in time it's not right for you. You're not ready for it yet. And it does suck because you do get caught up in like, for example, like our grades. If you think you're a failure because you haven't got the grades that you want, it really doesn't matter. Like, I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I got probably the lowest in the UK. We have like GCSEs, but I don't think we have anymore. We have someone else, I don't know. Oh my God. But I think I probably got the lowest score. I didn't really try at them, to be honest. But that has nothing to do with, me. Kind of like I don't know because I've seen people with great grades and they haven't done much with it. And sometimes with a uni degree, like people don't want to see it sometimes, and that annoys me. And I think it's because like I remember watching this, this news statement of people not being employed because they have a degree. And I'm thinking it's like, okay, so what job are you going for? Not everyone's, unfortunately, that is the truth, and I've witnessed this. Not everyone's gonna get a job straight at uni. It it actually has something to do with networking and making connections in the world. It's actually nothing to do with your grades. As long as you prove that you can do the work. And most places look at the uni, you know, all these things, and it's like you if you've done the work, that's all they want to know. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I've just stressed myself out for months, months of my life just to prove that I could do something. Ah, it really sucks. But it is all who you know. Um, it's great to have the experience, but it is all about all who you know. And like failing, like, but it doesn't matter. Like your grades don't matter. It's like it's your. I feel like it's the wisdom. Like, I mean, I would use J.K. Rowling as an example, but I think she was a teacher, and I think definitely you need grades to be a teacher, but it just depends what job. But sorry, I remember the article that, you know, it was saying that removing, like, people don't want, these degrees on you. I'm like, what job are you going for? Are you going for a cafe assistant? Because maybe they probably don't want that because you're overqualified. Overqualified. um, yeah, like I remember this, like, and that kind of like put a fear in my head, like, and I don't know if this has done this to other people, but where you're where you are, scared to go for things because you might not get, the job because you feel you're overqualified. And it's like, what's the point? What's the point of all this? It's so silly. But it does really come down to who you know, actually. A lot of people don't get jobs outside of uni after because they probably didn't network enough. They probably didn't, you know, I mean, if you've got time to volunteer, go into, find, a company that you want to work for, volunteer there, get to know absolutely everyone. As long as they're not a toxic company, they could take you on. Because you know the contacts, you got on them very well. There's a saying, dig your well before you're thirsty, which basically means, get to know people before you need them, make a connection. Um, that's a really good way to, and it's just, again, it's just networking, isn't it? Um, but there's nothing, there's nothing wrong with that. There's a saying that I really love, and it's from the Cinderella movie with like Hilary Duff in, and that really kind of kept me going throughout uni as well, actually. It's don't let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. It's like, what? Oh, that's amazing. Because you shouldn't let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. Hey guys, just a quick mention that the audio in this doesn't sound great. You're gonna hear a lot of hiss and crackles, and unfortunately, I do apologize. I am having absolute technical issues. Like, I cannot find a great working mic. Something has happened in the whole setup, and something has broken, and I'm really trying to fix it. So please be patient. I hate this microphone that I'm using right now. It sounds really echoey. But I feel like it's important to get the knowledge out there that this this podcast with whole I don't know this podcast has for you guys, and I feel like that's the most important. So I'm really sorry about any audio issues that you may hear. Thank you. So I remember even getting my like GCSE scores. It was a a moment of like, because you just don't care. Like I didn't care. I'm like, meh. Like I just didn't care. And there have been moments in my life where I got caught up and was like, oh, I did this, did that. But like looking back, it's like that's not where I belonged. And like everything in my life kind of added up to where I have to be now. And I've got such a future ahead of me. And like, I don't want to say, it's impossible to fail. You can. be really smart and look ahead. You can be really smart and look ahead and find, it's kind of like a game of chess. Sometimes I see life as a game of chess. I am really bad at chess, but I can play life like chess. It's very strange. Like, I can see things unfolding, but if I'm on a chessboard, fail, like absolute failure at chess. But yeah, we don't get caught up. There's no such thing as failure because it's just a learning curve. I'm just learning to play chess, but I can see things. Like not gonna sixth sense it, but I can see patterns. Um, and this really helps at what I want to do with my life because it actually has nothing to do because there are different types of intelligence. Okay, that's why someone can be super intelligent but have no common sense. There are 8 intelligences. And the only one I can remember is um actually musical intelligence and intrapersonal, because intrapersonal is where you cannot tell your feelings. And I did struggle with this. You do struggle, honestly. You're just like, but you can also learn, you can become in tune with how you feel. And I feel like I have done that. What? I feel like yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because I know, because I feel like I have. Um, you can find these out. I'll link, I could see if I can find an article and link it down below for like interpersonal, or maybe I could do an episode about it. Who knows? Party on, man. Um, yeah, it's nothing to do with, like, again, I could use J.K. Rowling as an example, but she was a teacher, so she probably had the smarts. Um, but she was living, I would say, on a very, very low income at one point. And if you watch any documentaries, I could link it, they are on YouTube, where she, had nothing. What was that? She had nothing. She did. She had nothing. And there are a lot of like even millionaires, billionaires, trillionaires, quadrillionaires. They've all at one time had nothing. Like I could they've all, you know, so it's absolutely fine. They're not a failure. What they do is they get back up and they work around it and they find a new angle. Look, what's that off? I feel like that's off something. Look for a new angle. Oh my gosh. It's all this off. But it's totally true. It's like look for a new angle. Like no such thing as failure. Just look at a different possibility. Look at a different outcome. And if that one doesn't work, try another one. Like is no such thing. No such thing. So we really shouldn't all get caught up in it. It doing that does more damage than good. It's like, okay, you know. And yeah, no, I do get it because I used to be like, oh, crying. But what you do is get back up and you do it again. You get back up and you do it again. And the more times you fall, the easier it is to get it up. Like it's weird because I do actually like longboard skate. I have fallen over to the point I was in such shock. Oh, I've also got whiplash as well. That really like weirded me out. Um, but I have fallen over, like, and I've got back up. And I feel like maybe we all should just skate and we should all fall over and then get back up and do it again. It's fine. Maybe that's why I've really got that mindset. Oh my gosh. If you find yourself to the point where there's nothing you can do, and I've been kind of like in a situationship where even my best wasn't good enough, and that sucks. But there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. You will never be too much. You will never be asked for too much by the right person. Okay? You will never be too much for the right person, but you will be too much for the wrong person. And if they can't handle you, it's never, ever your problem. It's theirs. Like, it's theirs. You'll never be too much for the right person. So don't feel like you failed there. If you're in that moment, that mindset of like, I tried my best, to be the best version of myself, to do everything I could, do everything I could to make it work. And it didn't. And here I am now, sobbing in my bed, like, you didn't fail at that relationship. What you did was learn that relationship wasn't for you. Okay. And that goes with everything. Okay, you didn't fail at that job. You just learned that that job wasn't for you. And why would the universe waste your energy? Why would the universe waste your time on the wrong thing for you? Okay? Sometimes it's a tough journey, sometimes like a pinball machine, knocking you all over the place, but it's putting you in the right path. The pinball effect. It will knock you all over the place, but you'll hit the right goal, I guess. That's the way to do it, the pinball effect. I remember that. I used to say that. But if you feel like that's happening to you, you're probably on the right path, but it feels like the wrong one. Like in Boys to Men, no. Into All the Boys I've Loved Before, there's a line that says, I think it's the second one, where you have to kiss the wrong guy to find the right guy. This is not about relationships, but this is just about just in general failing and how it's a learning curve. But that kind of goes with life, sometimes you have to, hug the wrong tree to find the right tree, I guess. I don't know. That's not a metaphor to my ex because it was not a tree. Anyway, so blow blow. Um, so yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this episode. It's gonna be a small one, really sorry. But do not take life as, do not ever sob or feel like you're not good enough. It could actually be down to you not feeling good enough rather than failing. You should never ever take failing personally. It's nothing to do with you, it's out of your control. You cannot control everything. You can't control anything. You probably control a puppet, but you can't control anything. Probably control a kite, but you can't control. But everything that is meant to be for you will be for you. It will get to you one way or another. Never lose hope on that. But you cannot control any outcome in your life. You can probably control the little things. And sometimes the little things can contribute to the big things. So just anything. Just do everything, like just calm down. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. You're not a failure. You're just learning. Okay? So I hope that's everything. I hope you got something. I will be putting out classes for you guys, but you have to sign up to my newsletter, which is in the link below on my link tree, because I don't have a website, but that's all I have at the moment, which is fine. It's legit. But I will be going more into depth about things, so you can sign up to my monthly classes. I do classes on what is it? the podcast that gets the most hits. I'm like, okay, so this is a subject people are interested in. Let's do a workshop about it. But you can only find out what they are through my newsletter. So you can vote in what topic you'd like to go into more detail with. There is a poll on YouTube and there will be a poll on the Spotify. So vote for one that you want and then sign up to my newsletter and then we'll put out a class. That'd be really fun. That'd be great to see you guys. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Crystalline Podcast, and I'll see you in the next one.